Hello friends, welcome to my live show, and this is about business, and today business is about opportunities. And last week we have all seen that in the midnight hours the ISRO created a landmark, and they actually launched 36 satellites in the geostationary orbit. We all know that. So I'm not going to discuss about that aspect. I'm actually going to discuss about the opportunity that you might have missed. So let's start our journey towards talking about the achievement of ISRO and what is coming. So we know that the ISRO has used their heaviest rocket called LMV-3. LMV-3 is very specific. We have to talk a little bit about this specifically, since this is the heaviest rocket, and the total payload of all 36 satellites was about 6 tons. So for the ISRO, this is a sort of a milestone, because this is the heaviest payload they have ever handled so far in the history of ISRO. We are not talking about other space agencies like NASA and all, because they have handled heavier. So this one is the heaviest so far, and they have successfully launched all 36 satellites in the geostationary orbit. So I would like to mention two facts. One is that this rocket is going to be utilized in the Gaganyaan missions, and that is why this is very specifically sort of a test, or also a landmark, because using this rocket, this particular rocket LMV-3, the Gaganyaan modules will be sent out into lower Earth orbit with humans in it, which the Indian space travelers will be called Vyomnauts. So this is one specific point I want to mention here. Second is that this whole project is funded by a company called ONEWEB, and they have sent it to geostationary orbit. So geostationary orbit is located at 36,000 kilometers away from the Earth, and this is the orbit where the effects of moon gravity as well as the effect of Earth gravity cancels out each other. So if you place something in that orbit, that remains sort of stationary forever. So that is the specific point that I want to mention here about geostationary, because using this rocket 36 satellites have been sent to geostationary orbit. Okay, so let's move on to the major discussion about the ONEWEB, because most of the opportunities are coming from this particular company. And ONEWEB is basically started off in 2012 in the US, and the idea was that this company will set up pretty much a worldwide network of satellite, and basically provide the broadband services. In between, they launched certain satellites, but then they also went bankrupt. They ran out of funds, etc. And in 2012 there was no ISRO capability, so I think the low cost launch vehicle was not available. They were dependent on the ESA, which is the European Space Agency, etc., which cost a bomb. So that was going on, and they went bankrupt, and they got the funding. When they got the funding, then they actually got the funding from very unexpected party. One was the UK government themselves. So when they got this funding from the US government, UK government, I beg your pardon, then they also got investment from the telecom company from France, and they also got the funding from Bharti Enterprises. Well, Bharti Enterprise is the Airtel company backed by Sunil Mittal, and this company is one of the premium company in India, and it is surprising that they got the major stake in ONEWEB. That means essentially Sunil Mittal, Bharti Enterprise are in the driving seat of this company, which started off as a US company, but now it is owned by major stakeholders are the foreigners which are not present in the USA. UK government, a telecom company in France, and Bharti Enterprise from India. So that is very specific. Second thing is that in last year, it was decided that the ONEWEB will completely merge with the French telecom company. And this way, the Bharti Enterprise will also be owning a substantial right in the French telecom company, and they will actually have bigger play in France, rolling out ONEWEB services, just like they have bigger play in India. So that is what the opportunity is all about. And I gave you this this background specifically to make you understand what is going on here. And this is in direct competition with Starlink. So even Starlink started later, but this company is much older. The concept is the same. The only difference is that the Starlink operate at a lower Earth orbit, very low, not in geostationary, and because they are located much lower, about 350 kilometers high. The range is about on the ground is per satellite is about 300 kilometers, whereas so they will have to send more than 3,000 satellites in order to cover the entire Earth. Whereas in case of ONEWEB, since the satellites are placed in the geostationary orbit, each satellite is able to cover a much bigger, at least 10 times bigger radius of influence on the surface of the Earth. Therefore, ONEWEB requires only 462 satellites to cover the entire Earth. Pretty much provide an alternative to Starlink, and with fewer number of satellites. If there are fewer numbers of equipment, then obviously there are less number of chances of failures. So the mechanism of these satellites will work essentially like Starlink. There will be not much difference there. Therefore, this is a significant step, and this is going to revolutionize the broadband services. I mean, we have recently seen that the 5G has been launched in India, which is going to basically bring lot of high-speed network to the wireless platform like mobile phone, tabs, etc. But the broadband also requires a new era of high speed. We already have a lot of high speed, but we still can go further in terabytes. So this satellite will provide or OneWeb will provide that kind of service. And therefore, Sunil Mittal becomes a major movers and shakers in India in the telecom industry when it comes to telecom. So I think the whole rollout will happen by 2023 of the high-speed broadband services in India. And since Bharti has major presence in India, they will be able to bundle their product more effectively using connectivity all across without any cables. The broadband services being beamed directly into your homes, into your TV, into your PCs, etc. Direct beaming of the broadband services. That will happen as soon as 2023, next year, because they have launched 36 satellites now, and in order to complete the entire spectrum of all the satellites which is covering the entire globe, they just need to send 4 more missions, and that will complete their network. But remember, they have been at it since 2012, and Starlink will take even more time to cover the entire Earth. So they will actually probably beat Starlink in order to cover the entire Earth, and then they will switch on their entire Earth network into a worldwide mega broadband services, high speed. And that is what the opportunity is all about, and I thought I will talk about it in my live business stream. And I'm quite excited when I did research for my live stream today. I was quite excited that such things are happening, and these things we might have missed. We have only captured the news that we have heard that ISRO has created a landmark, but we have also have to understand why it is so significant. We have achieved the testing of the LMV3, which is going to play a role in Gaganyaan mission, which is coming next, and also the broadband services, which is going to be available since 2023. High-end, high-speed broadband services available throughout, an alternative to 5G. So I think things might look very exciting in next year and years further. So if you have any suggestions, any comments, any questions, feel free to send me those, and I will meet you live again tomorrow with something more exciting, more intriguing, and something which will give you more insight about business opportunities that may emerge, ideas, tips, and tricks. So take care, friends, for today. I will catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.